What's up, insiders? Today I'm gonna share all my highlights from my China trip. I have spent a little bit over a week in China, Shanghai, and I also spent day and night in Tokyo. In this video, I will share all the fun details from the trip. First of all, I want to share my official reason for going to China. I have a friend who's also a Russian who have been living over a decade in Shanghai. He's on engineering end. His name is Gennady. Today, we're business partners. We're bringing products from China to America. It's mainly roofing products. I'll share all details about that business later. Gennady have been working for roofing manufacturers in China, engineering roofing products, which includes North American market as well. So he's well of knowledge when it comes to anything related to membrane underlayments. You call it, he knows it. He can design TPO, EPDM. He knows what products are made from. And this guy is no foreigner when it comes to the roofing industry. He's pretty much me on the back end in another country. He was my guide. He was my host. And a lot of things that I have seen in China, I have seen through his lens, if you will. So it's not just Chinese people who were showing me, but it's also another immigrant, just like myself in America, but someone who lived there. So we know, of course, our native country, Russia, but we have things to compare to. I live in the United States, he lives in China, and we discuss Russia a lot. So between three countries, we've been experiencing this culture on this trip and discussing how we're all different and what do we have in common. Let's start with airports. Airports both in China and Tokyo, and I would also add Canada here, a little bit more advanced than American ones. The reason I say that they require a little bit more biometrics. You have to do fingerprints to scan your face. There is a little bit more technology involved when you check in or leave the country. And they process people a little bit faster, I would say. My experiences started with a personal driver who was driving NIO. It's a Chinese analog of Tesla. And I was so impressed with this car. This car right away off the get-go is step ahead of Tesla. Everything about NIO as a car, it's a little bit more advanced. Elon Musk have a couple cool ideas over the years. But one thing, what I have seen over and over on this trip is Chinese will take your idea and they'll improve it and perfect it. For example, let's talk about NIO car because we've been driving it for an entire week. This car and the owner of the car, Gennady, he've never charged it at his house. When you buy a NIO car, you have tons of stations around Shanghai. And when you are running low on energy, you have two options. One, they can come to you and swap a battery at your place, or you stop by at one of the stations, and we actually have done it. So pretty much you drive on a highway, you wait for the next station, you take off the exit, you go to the station, you park in front of it, press the button, and it's gonna back you up in this box. No people are working there. It's pretty much big vending machine for batteries. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to swap the battery. You sitting inside the car, so you backed up, and this machine will take the battery from underneath of your vehicle while you're still parking there, catching up on your phone probably. It's gonna unscrew it with all the patented technology, take it away, and then gonna put new battery up. He gets about 6 batteries per month, and if he needs more, if he drives more, it's about $15–20 per swap after. Very reasonable price. 3 to 5 minutes is probably faster than it takes me to fuel my vehicle here. I drive Tesla. I do have 220 volt at my place, so I never go to charging stations myself, but I hate take my Tesla to, let's say, Chicago, because it would take me 40–50 minutes to charge. And in China, that feature alone with this vehicle is ahead of the game. Now, they have 5 or 6 models and they have the same batteries. So if you think about it, it's very, very unique. On top of that, NIO has network of places all over China where you can drop your kids. They have little playground, drink a coffee, drink even a little bit of alcohol, whatever you want to do. Very, very cool technology. And I was very impressed. Another cool thing that I see everywhere, They have this portable boxes everywhere you go with the little QR codes. And by the way, QR codes are everywhere. This is how you pay. I have never paid with my card on the entire trip until I came to Tokyo. So pretty much they have WeChat. WeChat is your social media. It's your payment system. And you connect your card, my American card, to it. And everywhere you go, you give them a barcode, they scan, or you scan their barcode. So at the restaurants, everywhere you go, they have these little boxes. You don't see people charging their phone. They take this portable chargers, power banks, you connect to your phone. They're everywhere. What I noticed in China right away, they have this balance. On one side, they have parks and they have flowers on the highways. They have flowers inside the vehicles. Every time you go on a Uber or taxi trip, you will see driver having a little plant between the seats. If you go on the highway, they also have flowers on the highway. So they have this balance with nature, but at the same time, they're very advanced nation and they have not electricity, but technology everywhere at your disposal. Another huge difference between US and China is amount of food and variety of food everywhere you go. In China, if you want to eat different food every single day, you have that many options everywhere you go. And my friends who live there will tell you the same thing. Almost every day they try something new. And I'm not talking about weird stuff. I know we all have this perception that Chinese eat bats and stuff like that. It's actually not true. It's pretty much the same protein as we have here. You can only add frogs. So in my entire week there, I only seen one frog restaurant, but of course if you are looking for it, you will find it. But for example, only one area in the country eats bats, and that population is about 100,000. So I know we think that they eat this, scorpions and bats, but in reality, people who live there, and Shanghai is 20 million people, officially 30, 40, not officially. It's a lot of people. And for people who spend over a decade there, for them not to be exposed and not knowing people who actually eat that kind of food, that's a pretty good sign for you. So they eat similar to us, but it's how they prepare food. For example, they'll have your typical Korean barbecue style when you boil meat, in front of you. They have Italians. They have pretty much cuisine from all over the world. Wherever your taste buds are used to, you will find something similar in China. If you like American steakhouses, if you like burgers, you will find it on every corner. Another big surprise to me was, or almost shocking surprise, is how fast their deliveries are. For example, my friend, when he was picking me up in the morning, it's a 30-40 minute drive for him. He would order coffee to be delivered to us, even if it's 500-600 meters from my hotel. It's cheaper for him and faster to order delivery, and it only costs you a couple dollars because delivery system is so competitive. It's so fast and easy to get delivery. So for entire week, I've seen people delivering stuff to our car. Like, I get out of the hotel in the morning when he's picking me up. I see a scooter parking, giving us coffee at the same moment. It was happening all the time. They have tons of scooters, and those scooters makes tons of deliveries. I really like my hotel. Even in my hotel, everything was electrical. You open your door and shades automatically was opening up. They have this weird robot in a hotel lobby and on my floor. Sometimes I hear it's making noise. I open the door and it's a little robot cleaning it. In my hotel room, they have actually something I've never seen in a hotel. They have this mask. You can see it right here. It's called fire escape hood. So you put it on so you don't smell the smoke or you don't breathe it in, which is, to be honest with you, very smart. I also have umbrella and a few other very cool things. And again, I go to very fancy hotels in the United States as well, but those little details were very cool to see. I've seen a lot of very unique, smaller vehicles, like three-wheel vehicles that were utility workers using them, sweeping roads or washing roads. I was in Guadalajara, Mexico, also very big city, 7 million people, and I have seen people sweeping floor on the main streets many times. In China, I have seen this three-wheel vehicles, almost like a scooters with a box behind them. I've seen them sweep and collect the dust from the roads, also pressure washing them or hosing them off in the morning. Very efficient. I have not seen anything like that in any other countries I've visited recently. Very impressive. One thing I did notice that I did not like, and my guide who I hired a couple days later and spent a full day with her, she explained it as well. Chinese, unfortunately, do not take safety seriously. I have seen it right away in my hotel. I have seen this telescopic ladder going on the roof. I've seen a couple workers. I actually was worried about the guy going down because I was worried about that ladder. I've reviewed that ladder and I was worried that the ladder will collapse or fall down. When we went downtown Shanghai, and I've seen this, huge piers where the boats are on this side, thousands of people here, but you don't see any safety precautions. If someone falls over, you don't know how you're gonna get them. Like, there's no safety nets. Chinese people just did not put extra efforts in the safety precautions. And according to her, she said it's a mentality. It's speed and quality over safety, because they do have so many people. They want to do everything faster. They want to produce as much as possible. I'm pretty sure it's changing because there's a lot of international laws and there's a lot of international companies who work there. But it was pretty obvious everywhere you go. Even on the roads, people drive like maniacs. Scooters drives like bikes. And some people say that they have a bike mentality. They can change roads, they can go from this place to this place pretty fast. Overall, I was not impressed with their safety. But I love their infrastructure. They have lanes for scooters, they have lanes for cars. Cars are a very big topic for me. I always say that the United States have newer cars on the road. If you drive on a major highway, you rarely will see a car that's older than 5-6 years old. They do exist, but majority of the cars in traffic are newer cars. Well, the same true for Chinese highways, except majority of the cars that I have seen are electric cars, and more are hybrids and electric. As a matter of fact, there's so many brands everywhere you go. Malls, on the roads, like you see newer and newer brands. I was actually asking my friends what kind of car is that. They're like, we don't even know that brand yet. So newer brands popping up, electric technology is there, is present, and it's everywhere. One cool car that I personally like, it's a Buick minivan. It's very modern looking, just like Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey, but it's a Buick product, and there's tons of Buicks in China. For some reason, the car is very popular, and those Buicks are everywhere. Every hotel has them, mall has them, factories that we visited have them, taxi drivers have them. Buick minivan is probably one of the most popular minivans I have seen in China. International Roofing Expo was quite an experience for me. I have been at many expos here in the United States, and this one was one of a kind. They do put up a very good show. A few things that really got my attention. Number one, they still use a lot of models, just like they have in auto shows. So literally, models were hired just to guard, if you will, or stand, not even to talk or sell, just to work as a models at the entrance, to their booth. They have dancers. They have very unique games, giveaways. Just take a look at this. What's happening here? One thing I was very, very impressed is details of their presentations. They have very, very cool videos and very good 3D models of their products. I mean, look at the footage of this. Of course, China is very, very competitive market, but one thing that stood out to me is not only that everyone is friendly, and of course, we're foreigners, they want to get your attention. It's manufacturers of China who's trying to get foreigners to buy from them. But amount of cameras was overwhelming. Everywhere you go, they want to take pictures with you. Everybody's filming everyone. Almost every booth had their own cameraman filming or taking pictures of what's happening inside the booth. And of course, I have been filming everything as a tourist, so no one ever say, don't film me, or what are you filming? In the United States, if you, even at the Expo, if you randomly start filming, even at the Expo, when they trying to sell you a product, if you start filming it, like Temco kick us out from the booth, and Owen Squirting kicked another roofer from the booth a couple years ago. You know, people in America like their privacy. They don't want to be filmed. Even when they sell a product and make a demonstration, I never could understand it. If you go to the show and you want to show the world what you're doing, why in the world would you say no to someone with a camera? What are you afraid of? It's either you playing gimmicks and your product is shady, or I don't know what's your problem. But in China, I have not experienced any of that. Everybody was welcoming, everybody was filming me, taking pictures of me. As a matter of fact, when they saw that we're filming at their booth, immediately they were asking us to take a picture of them. Like, as a matter of fact, this little gift here that I got from them, it was one of the booths that I was impressed with, and I started telling their story. I talked to them, what do you guys do? And then we started rolling. After they saw that we did a video about them, they came to us, and this probably worth like $150. I saw something at airport at gift shop about $150, very cute. But they came to us with a gift. Another cool thing is how they give you everything and how they receive. In their culture, you have to use both hands to give a business card or to give a gift. You know, like even for me today, it would be weird to pass something with one hand. Because once you experience it, once you experience someone that's leading to you with two hands, it's very special feeling. Anyway, so I got this just because I made a video of the brand that, you know, we did not pitch them. We didn't try to sell them anything. We just wanted to tell their story to our audience in the United States. Very cool experience. Another highlight from the show is this backpack. Check it out. What you see is actually advertisement of roofing product on a walk-in backpack. Very cool, stealing that idea. Comment below if you would do that for your business. And also guys, if you like this video, please give it a like, comment something below so YouTube recommends it to more people, and comment below what did impress you the most and what did you like from my trip the most. Me and my partner have been talking to top brands in China. We're actually helping few of them to come to the United States and sell direct, because one of the biggest problems in the roofing industry, it's price increases. We personally think that it's a greed of middlemen in the United States that causes prices up. And even with the Trump tax of 25%, we know we can save a lot of money to people who wants to buy direct. If you want to buy containers directly from China, premium products, as a matter of fact, ABC, SRS, and Beacon are already buying it from China. The problem is they use too many middlemen. They use brokers, Alibaba, and a few other partners. So we can do the same, but direct to you. We've accomplished that. So we already have a couple products even before the trip, but we were able to partner up with a couple very big brands, and I cannot wait to announce that partnership a little bit later. Again, I was very impressed with their dioramas, little models of their products. It was so easy to understand what they produce, why it's important, how is it better from competition, and where do you apply it. Very, very good job. The show was very bright. You have dancers, you have music. Of course, you also have smaller players around the corners, people who did not have big budgets, but it was very cool. Everybody wanted to show you the product, to feel the product. And overall, they're a little bit ahead. I'm excited to quite a few products that we're going to see here in the United States, because in China, it's actually not a roofing industry. It's more of waterproofing industry. It was waterproofing expo with a lot of roofing products in it. This is me going a second day at Expo. Look at this car. So the car just pulled up. It looks like Tesla if Tesla would be a limo. Very, very impressive. I've never seen this car before. Don't know the name of it, but look at the driver. He is wearing gloves like most drivers are, suicide doors. Very cool. So second day of Expo, we actually went to different section, more related to residential retail market. And of course, they have completely different products. I have only seen one asphalt shingle product. They don't have asphalt shingles. Chinese architects and construction workers, I guess, don't like asphalt shingles. They think about it as something very cheap, so they do invest in clay, something heavier, and they have this competition of young Chinese roofers, and they were competing over there. They built a lot of stations, both residential and commercial, and it was very cool to see. They had judges who judging the quality. It was very interesting to see all the components. Like, for example, their underlayment looks like actually legit roofing material. And when I start posting little shorts and reels, people in the United States were commenting on those videos saying, oh, what kind of material is that? Some of them were trying to be smart, saying looks cheap. Well, it's cheap because it's underlayment. But if you think about it as underlayment, you will actually understand that it's way more advanced and way more expensive than any underlayments that I have seen here. So we don't have it in the United States, but that's the underlayment they install under solid concrete style roofs. One of the coolest products that I have seen in the solar department was these solar panels that you install on your walls. They're very colorful. You can actually have many colors. So if you think about solar, you're probably thinking about ugly black panels. This one is a game changer because if technology is going here, it's absolutely amazing. They have camouflage color. They have obviously black printed shingles essentially. They have solid colors like green, beige, brownish. Not a big size. I would say probably 7x4 can generate 550 watts. So very, very efficient, despite the fact that it's actually very good looking. What I like on this trip is I have seen a lot of products that designed to preserve the old school looks and culture. So everywhere you go in China, you're gonna see parks or little recreational areas with the roofs that look like they have been there for 1,000 years. As a matter of fact, we went to eat to one of those places the same day, and the area is very cool. You have very modern restaurants, you have very cool looking houses, you have this creek, little bridges, and everything look like what we have seen at the Expo. Very old style roofs. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of it in the United States, maybe because we don't have 1,000, 2,000 history. The country have been around for a couple hundred years. We don't have a lot to preserve. But in China, it's cool to see manufacturers still producing tiles that looks like tiles that they have been making 1,000 years ago. Also very important to solar market in the United States as well. One of the problems that we have is solar companies making penetrations to the roof, both in residential and commercials. And I have seen so many cool products to solve that problem. Essentially, they came up with tons of cool accessories that's super easy to weld TPO to TPO. So if you're a solar contractor and you're working on a flat TPO roof, now you have so many cool tools and so many cool accessories to help you make watertight roofing system, despite the fact that you're gonna penetrate that roof with the anchors, because it will save you time. It'll be easier to install without costly leaky mistakes later. I want to touch one more time on food. People have been taking me to eat. Pretty much manufacturers, people who wants to host you. We've been in the manufacturer plants. We have lunch at Expo, like some manufacturers took us for lunch. And it's in their culture. Chinese used to be very, very poor. Now, if they do business with you, they have to feed you because food is something very big. They appreciate it. Food is everywhere. They're not poor nation anymore, and they cherish and appreciate it. But they look at food very, very different. The biggest difference between Chinese food that I ate there and American food, despite the fact it's the same products, is how they served and how they cooked. I'll give you an example. In the United States, if you eat chicken wings, drums, chicken nuggets, everything is uniform. In China, every time I ate chicken, it was not presentable, but it was tasty. They literally will cut the chicken in pieces, and at first they're gonna serve the ends. For Chinese people, the most important part of the chicken or duck or any part of the meat, it's bones, it's your collagen. That's what they value, and that's what they not gonna cut out. In America, we all want chicken tenders. We don't want bones. We don't want anything that does not look pretty. In Chinese culture, it's the opposite. You don't waste anything. You cut it all up, you serve it all, and people actually like that even better than raw meat. That's expression that I got. And when I talked to my guide and asked her this question, she said there's a healthy reason for that. And if you look how many years they live versus us, and look what Chinese people look at when they're 80 and 90 versus how we look, this is the difference. This is the food that we eat. It's your joints. So they eat a lot of collagen in their diet to be healthier. Another fun experience I have is acupuncture. This guy hurt me. So by the time I got to him, so I have several problems with my health. One of them, I have a heart pain. I've seen 2 doctors in the United States. I've seen a doctor in Guadalajara. Chinese medicine is very unique. Essentially, they listen to your pulse, and the doctor immediately, he took my hands, and your right hand is 3 organs, internal organs, left one is other 3. And by looking at you, your skin, your color of your tongue, they immediately tell you what the problems you have. And I was impressed, not gonna lie to you, because after seeing 3 cardiologists and all of them telling me that I'm healthy as you can be and you don't have a problem, if you have a heart pain, it's from your ribs essentially, or from extensive exercises. Well, this doctor told me right away, just from listening my heart and observing, I guess, me, he told me right away. He asked me, do you have a heart pain? I said, yes, I do. He said, stop drinking cold drinks, alcohol, and cold water with ice. As a matter of fact, that's a big thing in China. They don't serve anything with ice. They think it's very bad for you. They explain, you can read it and Google it. It's known fact. But then I have couple pains. My feet was hurting. I was doing a lot of running and CrossFit exercising, and I was very active in sports. So my feet, especially my right foot, was hurting a lot, and my right knee. So I tried acupuncture. It was very, very painful. Essentially, release me from pains on my right side of the pain, he started using acupuncture on my left hand, and then he asked me to squat, and immediately I did feel a little better. And once he was done, I actually did not feel pain anymore, and later it was very good. One of the things he told me that I cannot do marathons or long runs. He said that I have weak legs. He does not recommend me to do boxing. He does not recommend me to do CrossFit. He did not recommend me to do long runs. I don't know how I feel about it, or I did not make a decision how to react yet, but that guy was very trustworthy. I did take his advice to heart because I have heart problems, and my translator told me that they have very big concerns about my heart. They explained to me in medical terms. I'm not gonna share it here, but he pretty much diagnosed my heart, and I have a heart pain for the past 3-4 years. And he said, if you don't have life insurance, get a life insurance if you're gonna keep doing what you're doing. And that was a wake-up call for me. As far as infrastructure goes, one of the most impressive things was their parkings, underground parking. Everywhere you go, they are there. Malls, parks, it's pretty much city under the city. And those parking lots are spotless. They're all painted different colors, very easy to understand. They have chargers. You cannot see them from the outside, but they're very easy to get in, to get out. Again, those barcodes to pay for them, very, very cool. As a matter of fact, they have even pay system where to save time on exit, you can just scan on a pole and you already paid, and then you just go out. Very, very cool. I think China is way ahead of America when it comes to infrastructure, parking cars on the ground level. Another highlight of my trip was we have this local vlogger from Russia. He has 4 or 5 million subscribers on YouTube. I actually watch his videos all the time, news from Russia, because I'm still connected. I still have family there, and I'm curious what's happening with the war and stuff. And he was in China, in Shanghai, right about the same time. So 2 days prior, my friend got invitation in a private group to meet him. So we have a dinner with him, listened to him, and then we went on a boat right after that. Very cool experience. Of course, downtown, who does not like downtown? It's iconic place. That's what you see on all the magnets in all the movies. It's skyscrapers. It's just beautiful. But this one was very, very impressive. I usually don't care much for downtowns, but this one took my breath away. Maybe because we were on a boat, maybe because of the company, maybe it's different country, I don't know. But the way it lights up, the amount of lights that city has and how they portray it, and amount of advertising on the buildings and everything around it was very, very cool. Now, this one is very, very cool service that we do not have in the United States. In China, you cannot drink and drive, not even if you have one drink. So it's absolutely prohibited. And my friend would never do that because he would be deported. So they have the service. You're going to have a driver coming to you, drunk driving service. You call this company, they're going to send this driver to you on a foldable scooter. Once he arrives, he's going to open a trunk and put his scooter in a trunk. He's going to wear gloves. He's going to cover your seat and he's going to drive you home. Once he drives you home, he's going to take the scooter back and he's going to go home or on another call. Very, very cool. We've done it several times. And here's how it works. Here's how all the technology is so unique. We would be still finishing dinner on a skyscraper in downtown. We're going down, going all the way down in a very clean and fancy parking lot, underground parking lot. And this guy would be already putting his scooter in a trunk. And I've been filming him and nobody ever say, don't film me or whatever. Guys, you can put cameras in front of them. If they're serving you, you're the boss, you're in charge. Very cool. They're so used to cameras, so used to all of this. But for me as a foreigner, as a tourist, it was very cool experience. Comment below if you would use that service in the United States. Next, we visited this very cool factory, and what I can tell you is not only this factory, but the whole area of factories. I have never, ever seen cleaner factory. It was almost like 3D model. It's almost like not real. You know, like those little 3D models that we have seen at the Expo? Well, this is like they took that and now they build it here. Everything was perfect. Not only inside the building, outside the building, the grass, the road. It was like in a 3D dimension. We went on this roof and they have so many solar panels. They were producing so much energy. You listen to that converter. Actually, let me find a clip and listen to this.
Almost maximum yesterday.
Wow, look at these inverters. You can hear them.
Almost full load.
Full load.
Almost full
It's
load.
insane.
That's generated electricity from the roof sending back to the grid. Absolutely amazing. They actually save tons of electricity pretty much for entire production that they have, and on top of that they still can send it back to the city. This one was a bummer. My friend have scheduled a trip for us from Shanghai to Peking on a super fast train that goes like 350 miles per hour. But unfortunately, when we went to check in on the station, they canceled because they have flood and small earthquake, and I did not get to see Peking. But instead, what we decided to do, we went to Chinese sauna. And let me tell you this, I will never be the same. This place is absolutely nuts. I have been in many, many saunas in Russia, in Canada, in Mexico, in the United States, almost in every state. This is sauna experience of my lifetime. First of all, I think the suits they give is very, very cute. Everybody's wearing them. Second of all, it's open 24/7. You pay about $49. Everywhere you go, you see people sleeping or resting. They have little library. You have There's little rooms you can rest. You have little like tubes you can rest. You have a theater you can rest. You have unlimited fruits, and they have so many fruits there. You pretty much come to that anytime and someone's just chopping watermelons and exotic fruits that you never ate before, and it's 24/7 because there's so many people. There are probably 500 to 1,000 people at the time, but place is huge, so it doesn't feel crowded. You see people with the baggage, so they probably come there from the airport. And I tell you this, if I would be traveling, if I have one night in the city, instead of going to the airport, I probably would go to this place because there's plenty of places you can sleep. You'll sit in the sauna, you can get a massage there, and a lot of other services. They have full open bar. They have computer games, PS5s, they have cinema, they have quiet rooms. You can work there. You can actually get a private room for a little bit more if you want to have a business meeting there, or maybe do like a birthday party. Very, very impressive place. But the sauna itself was very cool. In the Western culture, we're not used to be totally naked. Over there, that's what's taking the place. But get this, in a sauna, in a dry sauna, they have these little sensors in the wall. Check this out. This is absolute highlight of my China trip. This thing right here is more impressive than any electric vehicle cars I have seen. This thing right here is disperse the water on top of those rocks. Freaking awesome is that. You know how many times I've been in the sauna and we have to go and we have to pour the water. It's never convenient. By the way, it's dangerous too, because all the steam right there is going to get you in your face if you stay close. But this one, I can do this all day long. Simple thing, but Chinese came up with it first, yet another time. I spent an entire day with a guide. We went to local pharmacy that looks more like a grocery store, because how traditional Chinese medicine is trying to fix you or heal you is first starts with what you eat, and that was a cool experience. But as far as shopping goes, very similar to United States. All the fancy brands are there, your Louis Vuittons, Coach, like, you know, all of them, Rolexes. But also what's different is they have tons of cars. You will go in 1 mile and you'll see 5 dealerships. And I'm not talking about big dealerships. I'm talking about, you know, dealerships in the malls with the 2-3 cars. I've seen Ford there only with their electric vehicles. I guess that's the only competitive car they can bring. Lots of Teslas. So you do see a lot of newer brands, but they are everywhere. Very, very cool, to be honest with you. Lots of live music everywhere that I truly enjoyed. So finishing with the China trip, China was very fast-paced, lots of technology. Everything has to be on my phone. Everybody's scanning. Nobody wants your cards. Very, very cool. They have a service and delivery for everything. I'll give you one example. I'm walking down the street and I see this picture. 2 ladies, looks like they broke down, and they have a repair guy on a scooter, tons of wheels and little compressor and tools on his scooter, fixing their scooter. So they have service for everything. For example, their FedEx, their service, like they have a service in Shanghai. If you have a document to send somewhere, they'll be at your place within 15 minutes and they'll deliver it, you know, with a signature like within an hour. I mean, almost anywhere in town. Very cool infrastructure when it comes to logistics, to ship something to someone. I mean, get this. In the United States, in Los Angeles, it takes about 48 hours to unload a container. In China, we're talking about 45 minutes. Why? Because of all of the above. Logistics, cranes, drones, AI, you name it, they are ahead of us. I was surprised. I don't think I would be able to move there, to live there. Frankly, you know, I love the United States for completely different reasons, so I don't want to sound like I'm trying to sell you China. But what I'm trying to do is for you to understand that other countries are not what you see on TV. I have asked my friends about freedom. I have asked my friends about, you know, democracy and how do they feel free, freedom of speech. And honestly, yes, people are being watched. cameras everywhere, but because of that, there's no crime. My friend been there for over decades. He've never seen one fight. Do they have crime? Yes, but it's completely different. It's more like cyber crime, and they're working on it. But you will feel very, very safe. I cannot imagine something happening to me. Not a single time, I was in a position where I did not feel safe because everyone's being watched. It's very easy to prevent and to solve the crime if that would happen. And I think that's the back end of being watched. So we think we give away privacy, and they look at it just completely different. People don't care about it. We think that, they banned YouTube and then banned Facebook, but guess what? They have their own social medias. And people who live there think, and they showed me, and I have to agree, it's similar or better what we have here. So they have pretty much everything we have, and they improve a lot of stuff that we want to have. Now, let me take you back to Tokyo just for a little contrast. I spent full day and full night in Tokyo, and I slept like 3 hours because I was too excited. I landed, I want to say like at 10 o'clock, and I came back to my room at 4. I spent all night walking out, and it was actually fun. Like I went to this first bar, and they were playing Miley Cyrus at the bar. And my surprise with Tokyo started right there at airport. I could not get Uber. Tokyo, just like London, is the city of taxis. Taxis are everywhere. They're by your hotel waiting for you. They're at airport. So I got out of the airport, and there's this huge line which moves very, very fast. So there's line of people here, and there's line of taxi drivers here, and they just blow you. I think I spent maybe 15-20 minutes, but it was very big line because a couple international flights came in. And guess what? 15-20 minutes, it's not that bad. But I was surprised. Cards were working. I have not used cards one time in China. Now, I'm like, how am I gonna pay for this? Because I'm nervous about stuff like that. You cannot pay people. You cannot use the service. They're like, nope, cards are totally fine. And everything was reasonably priced. My hotel, and I used Marriott, very fancy, one of the best hotels I could find, 5 miles from the airport. Paid about $300 a night. Just same price I would pay here in Dallas or Houston. What was surprising to me is how closed people are. No one's talking to anyone. I've took taxi ride for about 7 times. Not a single person asked me where I'm from. Not a single person tried to start a conversation with me. As a matter of fact, my hotel has a sauna, and they have these big signs. They have one sign is no tattoos allowed. So if you have tattoos, you could not go in that sauna. And number 2, they say you cannot talk here. Please no talking. And I'm not even talking about sauna. I'm talking about even the area where you can rest. So it was very cool. Also, everybody's naked there. It's just Asian culture, I guess. Besides that, I have seen a lot of very old cars on the road. And of course, we think about Tokyo and Japan is a very advanced country, and they are. You're going to see a lot of cool stuff. But overall, I also have seen a lot of old school, a lot of tradition, a lot of composure. People just did not care about fast pace. I did not see as much technology as I saw in China. The cars were a little bit older. The service everywhere you go was a little bit old school. Still have debit cards. Maybe it's influence of West because they have more tourists and more people traveling there. I don't know what causes it, but what I felt more like home in Japan than I was in China. I was less intimidated by cars. And even if you study car market, like Toyota, for example, Toyota is not producing electric cars. Toyota is doing hybrids. And on the streets of Japan, I did not see many electric cars, very, very few. Do they have Teslas? Probably, but you don't see them. You see very high quality cars, and it's very cool. Like to see vintage car that's been around for 30 years and still driving, but in a pristine condition. It's very cool to see. Do they like technology? Absolutely. Every taxi cab will have very big screens, advertising everywhere you go on the big buildings. If they can put digital billboard, they'll do it. So it feels like busy megapolis. It feels like big, busy city, but very different experience, completely different from China. I feel like China is trying to advance and they're just on different race, where Japanese is trying to conserve. Both countries are very similar, how they're trying to be one with the nature. Like you see the parks, you see people trying to escape this busy life from all the movements we have and go and become one with the nature. So you see both countries are doing that. But I would say that Japanese cars were more boxier and much smaller. I've seen so many small and very small unique cars, and everything was smaller in Japan. Like even their restaurants, they were like tiny. I've seen restaurants where 1-2 people are cooking and there's only 4 spots in front of you where you can sit and eat. They display the food right outside so you can see what's inside. Very cool. And that's a wrap for my Japanese experience. On the way back, huge shout out to Delta for upgrading me from first class to Delta 1. It's about $10,000 upgrade. I did not sleep more than 4 hours per night in both countries. And even when I came back next day, I went to Dallas, and even there I couldn't sleep. I don't know if it's jet lag or me being excited, but I did not sleep for 2 weeks more than 3-4 hours. I just always wanted to go. And on the way back, I appreciated that Delta 1 bed. It was super, super cool. I slept 6.5 hours on a 11-hour flight on the way back. So Delta, shout out to you. Delta is the best airplane in the United States. Guys, comment below what you think. If you like this video, I read my comments. I'll share more and I'll answer your questions if you have any. Let me know what you think. See you guys in the next video.